My name is Steve Peters, and I'm the founder of baseconsulting.co, an end-to-end supply chain management solutions provider based in the US.
Yeah, this is Paul Weedman, the owner of Victure Group. Our business is to be the eyes and ears of our customers, helping the supply chain in China.
So, are you prepared for Chinese New Year, the supply chain interruptions that happened every year?
Oh, absolutely. So this is a very big thing here in China, similarly to Christmas holiday in the Western world, and it's even bigger, you know. And the funny thing, the Chinese New Year holiday is not according to the solar calendar. It's a kind of like a unisolar, both from the solar and the lunar calendar they put together, because this is has been used by the Chinese people for the celebration of the harvest of the new year and expecting a good fortune in the new year to come. People do a lot of cleaning stuff before the New Year start. The Chinese New Year Eve, people clean up everything. That's a meaning of cleaning the unfortunate. So from the first day till the second or third day, people don't do any cleaning job traditionally. Right. They even don't wash their plate. Just leave it there.
Right, to bring the fortune.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of feasting, right? A lot of eating.
Lots of feasting. Yeah. Lots of fireworks, dancing, dragon dancing, or people used to put lots of the parallel letters. There is very it's quite popular in China.
What is that?
Put the parallel. It's in Chinese. It's a chunlian. Mm-hmm. So you put on the door, on each side of your door.
Oh, right.
The letters are parallel. And
right. In three places.
It's kind of art. People used to give hongbao to the elderly people and young kids.
Right.
That's a good fortune again.
And if you're married, you have to give the red pocket. But if you're not married, you get the red pockets. Right.
Yeah, that's pretty much the tradition in the southern part of China.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're always a kid if you're not married.
Right. So it might be an incentive not to, right?
Yeah. So you have about 15 days, which each of them celebrate different things. The first day is because China is like a father-led society. Mm-hmm. So the first day is it's most important. They gather together in their own father's family or son's family, and there are also a celebration, the ceremony to worship the ancestors, which is a very important part of a kind of Chinese religion. We don't have God, we don't have Allah, but we worship our ancestors instead. That part of the Chinese religion.
Right. So for supply chain, though, can you share a story about any issues maybe in the early years of dealing with clients during this time of year that didn't plan ahead for Chinese New Year?
Of course, there are so many. A lot of cases when, don't forget that the Chinese New Year holiday is also the largest human migration of the whole world. Mm-hmm. There are over 6 billion population in a single, if we calculate the single times of traveling during this Chinese New Year holiday. And what does that mean? Because most of the manufacturers and factories are located in the coastal areas and in the central cities of the country. And these workers are used to come from different parts of the country. And during this time, they're all getting back to their hometown. That means
at the same time,
yes, at the same time, that these places they're working in become kind of like a ghost cities. Mm-hmm. No one is there. If you are staying in Shenzhen or Shanghai, this type of places, it's kind of like empty. And you never find any traffic jam during the Chinese New Year holiday. And also the main thing is if you think this Chinese New Year holiday is 15 days, it's only 2 weeks, and it's absolutely wrong. It's way more than that. Imagine when people are not able to get even the air ticket or train ticket, they simply just delay their schedule of coming back to the factory to work.
Right.
And the traveling cost is used to be double or triple. Imagine the factory workers that not really get the high salary.
Yeah.
They simply tell the owner, sorry, I have to stay another maybe 2 or 3 weeks at home.
Right. So
until the price get down.
Depending on the factory, it could be, closed down for 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's normal.
That's normal.
Before and after the Chinese New Year holiday, there is always a decline of production capacity.
Right.
And you can't expect them to be fast.
Right.
The more common impact is when you have less employees. Sometimes the customers just pushing to get their order produced. Then what happens is sometimes the factory management also push the employee to work much faster,
right?
Which is not correct,
causing other
quality
problems.
Management standpoint.
Right.
And that's why from time to time you hear a lot of stories about the customers get the wrong product, the quality is so bad, and this is the hidden reason. You can't expect all the companies, all the factories to be very well educated or very well regulated.
Right.
And they may just not follow a certain process of manufacturing or quality control, and that will put the buyers in a really tough situation. Right.
And a lot of the workers won't return to their jobs after Chinese New Year. Maybe they found a new job. So this delay kind of continues really for probably 2 months for some industries, right? For example, some of the workers won't return, they can't return, something happens at home, and so there's almost like a 2-month kind of delay for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. The younger generation, they are still even creating a new word of flying flat, 躺平. So because they basically have enough to survive. Many of them are from the one-child policy. They got a lot from their parent generation, so they just don't want to get all this hassle of getting back to work in the factory.
Right.
Yeah, so a lot of things to do, a lot of things to prepare. But in most cases, when the international buyers make mistakes, because they are just not aware of these kind of cultural issues.
Right.
What we say in manufacturing is and the quality management. You don't know what you don't know, but if you know what you don't know, then you have a way to mitigate the potential risk.
Right.
the least thing to do to avoid not having any product in your hand during the Chinese New Year holiday, which could possibly be 2 or 3 months. Then you get the your stock way before the Chinese New Year holiday.
Right.
But not everybody is ready to do that, and
Or can do
they're
that.
not used to plan things
Yeah.
much earlier than that.
Especially smaller
Then
companies.
yes,
You know, typically they don't have an inventory planning manager or something like that to track what their sales are, or maybe they just started selling, you know, in the fall,
yeah,
and they can't really forecast what they're going to sell. And then Chinese New Year hits them, and they have like a 2 or 3 month time where they
yeah,
can't really do much, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but at least there's something that they could do is really to keep a very close communication with the manufacturers to understand the lead time, and to understand the shipping time, or the least to say to prepare something for Q1. Because Chinese New Year holiday is always in Q1. It's either January or February. The second thing you might be able to do is, I'd say it's a very important tip to ship the goods no later than 10 days before the onboard day.
Right.
Because that's very important. Imagine everybody is shipping product before Chinese New Year, and the trucking service, the port service are always congested. Then when you ship the goods to the port, they used to have like 10 days of free warehousing day. So you're not going to be in the hassle. Or sometimes it could happen the last day the customers are pushing for the goods, then eventually the goods get to the port, but no one shipped. No one shipped the goods. Then the guy is stuck in the port for 1 month.
Right.
Then
because
there is an extra fee.
The logistics people, the shipping people, they all celebrate as well. So
of course. So the communication is definitely very, very important. And also the quality management is particularly important before and after Chinese New Year. As we discussed, there are lots of unexpectation of the human resources, of their production capacities. So to keep a good relationship with the supplier is critical. And also it's a great time to send greetings to the Chinese business partners.
Build
in
a
my opinion,
relationship.
there are no more a better time than the Chinese holiday to set them hello, and or maybe some a small gift, which is a kind of like a culture, a local culture in China.
And an additional thing that seems to tend to delay things as well is the turnover of employees after the new year. Because a lot of them want to change jobs or get a new job typically after Chinese New Year, right? Like if somebody's looking for a change, they wouldn't say apply for a job in November, December. They'd maybe apply before, like right before Chinese New Year, and hopefully starting in the new year, right? So there's also that aspect
that constantly
of the turnover.
happens.
Yeah. Looking for the better deal. Have you ever experienced any supply chain issues with a customer that was, this sort of thing where there's kind of unrealistic expectations? Maybe they started the project in November, December, and then you got caught up in a supply chain issue?
That happens every year, unfortunately. As the supply chain professional in the business, we try to to announce this Chinese New Year holiday every time, at least 2 or 3 months before the holiday. Well, the buyers always think it's still too earlier to get things prepared.
Right.
It's very hard to understand if you are not really staying in this culture,
right.
Talking with the suppliers every day.
Right.
You don't have the feeling.
Right. Because, especially these days with the Amazon culture of, being able to receive stuff the next day or even same day, and it's constantly, going. So there's really no, understanding of like the 2 months basically where Chinese New Year shuts everything down, but Amazon continues. Do you know what I mean? Because they've obviously planned out their supply chain very well.
Yeah, but if you look into a lot of third-party sellers on Amazon, they do not really have the same understanding. Of course, Amazon has their own sourcing office for their simply basic brands in China and another part of the world. But 80% of the medium small Amazon sellers, they don't really have the resources or the same understanding of what's going to happen during the Chinese New Year. They are expecting, to get the product the next day, as the buyer.
Yeah, and so if you are an Amazon seller and you're able to plan out, even if you're a really small Amazon seller and you're planning out to cover, your inventory during the kind of Chinese New Year, you may have a massive advantage, because typically only larger companies are planning out their supply chain, their inventory planning. But if you're a small seller, you can do the same thing and compete. You might be the only shop that can offer during this time. So it's a pretty big advantage, something that anybody could do if they plan out well and they communicate with their suppliers.
Yeah. In my opinion, the buyers, when they work with the professionals like you and I, that will really help them to clear up lots of hassles and keep a peace of mind. Either it's for the sourcing, the communication, or quality management.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for sharing, Paul. Appreciate it. Till next time.
Yeah, it's always good to talk to you. And talk to you next Friday.
Sounds good. Have a good week.